Welcome to our video on when are you ready to start dating? I'm Jacqueline, the founder and creator of Intuitive Matchmaking, and I have walked the journey with so many incredible singles looking for love. The ones that really go deep and have heartfelt connections and do their homework that I give them are the ones that are finding and enjoying and keeping love. I want to give you some of these tips. These are tips that are going to transform and change your life on knowing when you're ready to date. Yep, I just took a deep breath for you. It's a tough one. You're going to start putting your heart out there. You're going to say, I'm ready to let someone love me, and I'm ready to love. Actually chokes me up just thinking about it, because I have lots of people that they're not ready when they think they're ready, and it actually sets them back even more. So we're going to talk about the different steps. The 7 most important steps to talk about in order to be clear if you're ready to date, ready to let someone love you again. A lot of times people will say, I'm just going to practice. But that's not fair to the other person. So let's get you in a place where you're ready to convey the right message to the right person at the right time. Step 1. Look at your situation. How long has it been since you've been physically, sexually, emotionally in the space of the person you were last with? Based on how long you've been with that person, it does often take longer. A lot of people think maybe 10, 15-year marriage. Once they decide they want to leave, they can hop in another relationship, no problem. But if it's been a long-term, committed relationship, I personally really recommend you take 1 full year. 1 full year. So you have a year of birthdays and anniversaries and holidays and spring, summer, fall, and winter without somebody in your head giving you too many thoughts and feelings, because you need to find your voice again. You need to find what you like again. You need to heal. You can go out and have fun social dating, but relationship dating is different. If you dated somebody for a few months, broke it off, you could start dating the next person a few days later. As long as you've taken some time to think about it. So the first portion is to talk about how long it's been since the breakup and how long the relationship was. I've heard sayings of, for every 7 years you're with somebody, it takes you a year to heal. I don't believe in that. I really just believe in 1 year life cycle if it was a committed relationship of a length of longevity of anywhere from 3 to 5+ years. If you have children, maybe you bought a home together, you had a business together, if you had more invested, and time can't always tell that, but if you have enough that it was a real formal breakup, you had to do a legal documentation breakup, you had to divide shared properties, shared assets, then you really need to give yourself a year. And that year really begins once the complete breakup happens. I've had people try to get matched where they knew they wanted the divorce, but they were still living together for a portion of the year. That doesn't count. It's when you officially live on your own. You are officially getting that process done. I know that sometimes it takes a little bit of time to do the business end of divorce, but you have to have done the physical end of divorce to make room for a new person and have a good year if the relationship was a lot more. Now, the second part I want you to think about is why you want to have this relationship based on having a failed relationship previously. What role did you take? What part did you participate in this relationship not being successful? What part did you contribute? I want you to think about this. As much as maybe you got cheated on, maybe they were abusive, maybe they were neglectful, maybe you guys just had different interests and hobbies, maybe they were just boring, or maybe you just outgrew each other. But what role was it? Of course, a woman doesn't attract abuse. But did you stand up in the beginning? Or did you bring emotional issues from before that your deserve level was so low that you actually convinced yourself that you deserved that? Not that it was right, but you stayed longer than you should have. So what part do you take ownership in? This is a tough one because a lot of people will want to blame the other person all the time. But don't do that. What part did you have ownership? Did you stay too long? Did you quit too quickly? Did you think marriage and that commitment was supposed to be different? Did you have different expectations? What part did you play in this? I know a lot of people that cheat because they don't want to talk about it. Was that really the best way to end the relationship so the trust was gone? Or did you do it because they cheated? Did you do it for malicious behavior? Did you leave them because one wants to have a baby and the other one doesn't? What part of being in a relationship that you felt that person couldn't be it anymore? What part did you choose? How did you lose yourself in this relationship? Do you like who you are today? Do you really feel your authentic self is there? That's our number 3. So when you go from how long you've been apart to why you guys broke up, what role you took, to who are you today? These are important first 3 steps because people get lost in relationships. They find they tend to do things to make the other person happy. They do things because they want to stand up for what they want. Often you lose yourself. So who are you? I want you to take a little bit of time. Would you write down, who are you? Do you like yourself? Are you living your truthful life? Do you feel that if you ran into somebody that hadn't seen you since before your relationship, they'd still see that sparkle in your eye? They'd remember who you were. They'd recognize you. Or do you just kind of have some sadness to you? Do you have some false hopes? Do you have some lost dreams? Your heart's broken. Whether you instigated or they did, a promise was broken. You made a pledge to be together, and it didn't work out. Who are you? How happy are you? How raw are you ready to be? Number 4. When you think about having somebody new in your life, what's that going to look like? I hear so often people saying, I have one guy, he won't even meet a gal because she lives off the freeway of the last gal he dated that didn't work out. How rigid are you going to be? How hard and narrow and small are you going to be in your willingness to meet somebody? Are you really free to meet someone, or do you still need to deal with your ex? Do you have kids' schedules you've got to juggle? Do your kids need security right now? It's chicken and the egg story. Who came first? Your children came before your next partner. They need to feel that they're a priority. It's not appropriate to just leave them home while you're out there sowing your oats trying to figure yourself out. But if it's your free parenting weekend, go have some fun. Enjoy yourself. Make sure your home life is solid and secure. Make sure that you're not saying negative things about your ex when you're out on a date. I'm not saying that you're going to be great friends, but you need to move past your false expectations of your partner stepping up to the plate. You need to own that. You need to know where your life is at. You need to think about your day-to-day existence. Do you have time to talk on the phone? Is your date not going to be able to see you except for once a week, once every 2 weeks because your life's so busy? I have a lot of ladies that over-talk about how busy they are because they don't want the guy to think that they're just sitting around. But actually, from my guys, you tell me, makes it sound like you don't want to go out with them because they're going to be too busy to date. And you don't know them well enough to say, hey, when would you have time for me? So that's something you have to really think about. Something you have to know how you're choosing to fill your time and how available you're going to be for somebody new. Now I'm going to have you click the next video because I want you to have a chance to continue learning your 7 steps. So you ready? Are you excited? Can you imagine what I'm going to say the next 5, 6, and 7 tips? I'm so excited to continue to share with you. Thank you so much for listening and learning, and please share your feedback. I want to know how your life is transforming as you are deciding and getting ready to date.